Talking Flicks with JT and Grant Lee.
Yeah, hello and welcome to our Talkin' Flickster episode. A great movie we'll be reviewing this week. Our Talkin' Flickster, he's back once again. Duncan, hello.
Hey, JT, how you doing?
Bloody fantastic, mate. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. No complaints on my end.
Mate, you did such a fantastic job last week. We thought we'd bring you back and we brought you back to review what is going to be an incredible movie, Wicked. We'll get to that in just a tick, but as you would probably be aware again, off the back of last week's episode, no Mr. Lee today. He's ditched us again.
Who?
I know. It's going a bit like that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That guy that's usually here, but yeah.
That's
kind of forgot about him for a second.
Yeah, the guy doesn't do his research or come to rehearsals or anything like that. Yeah, so, he's kind of like the invisible man at the moment. And as I always say, never take a holiday, Mr. Lee. Keep that in mind. You just never know what's going to happen. Duncan's doing a fantastic job. Why is Mr. Lee not here this week? I mean, this could have something to do with it.
I had to do some stuff and it was on a Wednesday, so that's why I missed the podcast. And so I thank you for doing it.
Duncan was very happy to have me around, Mr. Lee. So he's actually, he said, can we piss Grant Lee off again next week?
Well, you know what? If that's the way you feel like, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, so I think he's licking his wounds somewhere. But anyway.
You know I love you, Grant.
We do love Grant. I know. It's kind of like, I kind of feel like, being Batman without Robin. But you know what? We'll get Mr. Lee. I believe Mr. Lee is back next week. But you know what I thought, Dunk? Even though he's missing, I thought we'll throw Mr. Lee in wherever we can. I thought we'd bring... We'll bring that in wherever we can. I've got Mr. Lee there ready to go. So we'll crack some funnies and, hey, Mr. Lee, how's your research? Yeah, there you go. Beautiful.
That's tripping me out.
Yeah, I know. It's like having a ghost.
Nightmare fuel.
Oh, God. Okay, well, I hope Mr. Lee is good with whatever he's up to and hope to have him back on Friday. Now, Dunk, Wicked, this has been one of the most anticipated movies of the year and could potentially be the biggest movie of the year. We sent you along to check it out. Firstly, how did you go finding a seat? Because I predicted that most sessions, it'd be hard trying to find a couple of seats together.
Well, look, there was still plenty of people there, but I could easily find my seat because I'm one of those people that likes to be there on time no matter what, and I accidentally always show up too early. I was there about half an hour before the movie started thinking I was going to wade through a huge crowd, but I still managed to get in first and got a good seat. So, there was plenty of people in there, but I didn't struggle to find a good seat, thankfully.
Yeah, I think Grant Lee needs to spend some time with you. He might learn a thing or two about being early and being prepared. So it's good, though. I'm glad that you got there. And now, did you happen to, this is really cool, the Forum 6 doing choc tops in celebration of Wicked. They're called Oz Tops. Did you happen to see these when you were at the Forum 6 in Tamworth?
Yeah, I didn't buy one. I'm way more of a popcorn guy, but I did see the the little picture of them at the counter, and they did look really good.
How awesome! So, essentially, it's like a mixture of all these different colours to do with the movies. I'm just trying to find it here. I just saw it before. You've obviously got your pink, you've got your green in it, strawberry ice cream, chocolate mint ice cream, sprinkles, the waffle cone, chocolate coating. And as Glinda says, pink goes good with green. So well done to the Forum 6 cinemas for coming out with that.
Look, I really like how Forum 6 always does something special like that for these big movies.
Yeah.
Like they have the balloon displays out the front or something you can take a photo with for a memory or special food. So I like that extra effort. It's really cool.
That is awesome. So well done, guys. And it's great to see everyone in the celebration turning up to what is a fantastic movie. We're going to review it, but before we do, what do you reckon? Should we have a listen to the trailer?
Yeah, let's go.
Fellow Ozians, the Wicked Witch of the West is dead.
Don't let her get away!
Let me tell you the whole story. Our paths did cross. At school.
Unlimited You're green.
I am.
Together we're unlimited.
She had her secrets.
Absolutely remarkable.
There is no fight we cannot win. Just you and defying gravity.
Why is it you're always causing some sort of commotion?
I don't cause commotions. I am one. Some of us are just different.
Listen to me. You can do anything.
Kiss me goodnight and defying gravity. And you can pull me down.
I know.
Just follow the road. Still leads you right to me.
If you care to find me to the western sky.
Well,
The best way to bring folks together is to give them a real good enemy. This wicked witch.
don't be afraid.
It's the wizard who should be afraid of me.
The wizard that there is or was is ever gonna bring
Wow, oh wow. Every time, Dunk, I hear the trailer, I just get goosebumps. Was it like that during the movie?
Yeah, like just listening to it then, when I hear the song Defying Gravity, I can't help but just smile just hearing it because I just picture when it plays in the movie. It's just so epic and just everything that's happening on screen with the character, like the visuals, that song, and when it hits the high notes, like, I don't know, you feel elevated watching it. It's really powerful.
Well, let's go back to setting this movie up. It's obviously been adapted from the Broadway musical, Wicked, which just recently was showing at the State Theatre in Sydney as well. Have you seen the stage production at all?
Look, I haven't been to a play since I was a kid. It's just not something I seek out. I don't dislike musicals, but it's not something I really keep track of. So I haven't seen it. And when this movie popped up on my radar, I only sort of still vaguely knew that it was based off a musical, and I didn't even really realize how popular the musical was. I was going in really blind. But I've since gone on YouTube and looked up, some trailers and some footage of the different eras of the musical, and I'm sad I haven't seen it. And now that I've seen this movie and I loved it so much, I feel like if I get the opportunity, I'll definitely watch the musical.
They're saying that with the movie, you get to see more scenes to establish Elphaba's backstory. Also, the world of Oz, She's University, which is very important in the film, but also more action set pieces, just some stuff that you couldn't do in a stage production, essentially.
Yeah, I was thinking, even though I haven't seen stage production and, I can't really visualize exactly what it's like, like I said, I saw little clips on YouTube, so I have a bit of an idea. I just think the movie can hit a scale that a theatre can't. As much work as they put into the sets in a stage production, they are still restricted by the dimensions of the building they're in, where with a movie, even with practical sets, you can just make the scale of the world so much bigger. And you see that, once the movie opens and you're sort of flying through the air, I guess, the camera's flying through the air towards Oz, through the world of Oz, and you see the yellow brick road and everything, you just get such a massive scale, I guess, of the world that it's set in. And I just don't think that's something they could achieve on a stage.
No, 100%. Now, for those that are big Wizard of Oz fans looking to go along and see whether or not you're getting those Wizard of Oz types of vibes, she'll point out too, this is actually set before the 1939 movie, isn't it? Before Dorothy leaves Kansas to arrive in Oz. So it's really quite strange, isn't it? Because this is going way back before the 1939 movie we've seen.
Yeah, and the cool thing is if you went in not knowing that, I mean, surely you would have to know there's some connection, given, the Wicked Witch and everything. But in the opening scenes, you do see the characters from The Wizard of Oz walking along the yellow brick road, and they're like still quite a distance from, the center of Oz. So it gives you that feeling that they're still on their way to tell their story. So it's like a really sort of quick little moment that they don't have to slow down and explain, that tells you this is before.
Yeah, good. So, look, that makes it easier, I guess. If you haven't seen The Wizard of Oz, you can connect with it quite easily. It is centralised around two main characters, Elphaba and Glinda. Elphaba, of course, the Wicked Witch of the West, and her classmate, too, from Shiz University, Glinda. Glinda the Good, who she eventually becomes as well. How do you see these two ladies? Because we've got Cynthia Erivo, who plays Elphaba, and then you've got Ariana Grande, who plays Glinda. Both of these ladies, sensational actresses, and they were both so proud to be given those roles because they really wanted to be a part of the movie. Do you get that passion in their acting in the movie?
Yeah. They are those characters. Like there's not a moment where anything doesn't feel real and authentic. And like I said, as I haven't seen the stage production, like I can't compare them to people that have played those characters in the stage production. But these two, they just, it feels like it's written for them. They're just so natural and so believable. You really feel like you're there watching them. So I think they're fantastic picks.
Do you feel like there's this real inspirational vibe that comes through the movie? Because I know that there was an interview recently when Cynthia and Ariana were down under for the premiere, and one of the reporters made a quote out of the movie and that they came from one of her children. And Cynthia just burst into tears. She was obviously very emotional about it. So what do you think it is that brings out that kind of emotion? Are we getting like that real inspirational feel throughout the film?
Yeah, 100%. That's my favorite thing about it. It's just a story that I think so many people know deep down, in that if you're different in any way, you're just made to feel like you don't fit. And if you try and push back against that, and you try and celebrate who you are and your differences, then you can sometimes be seen as the villain for not kind of, just accepting that oppression from other people. And that's kind of the theme of the whole movie. It's that, just because you're different doesn't make you the bad person. And the people that fit in and, that everybody loves, they can be the bad people. And it's such a common story that I think so many people can relate to and resonate with. And I think that's why it is so deep, because it's a lighthearted movie. It's fun. There's sing-alongs, there's bright colors and cool dancing and everything. But at its core, it has such an emotional story that, me personally, but I just think so many people can connect to. So it really does move you.
Let's talk about just what you mentioned before about the music, the sing-along. And I'm sure there'd be lots of that happening in cinemas around the world because a lot of the music's very catchy. Soundtrack-wise, what did you think of the soundtrack? We got a bit of a sample of it in the trailer there, but I reckon it would go to a whole new level just hearing song after song in the movie.
Yeah, the way they're telling the story through the song, I mean, I know that's the point of a musical, but no songs feel like a song for the sake of a song. Sometimes you watch a musical movie and it's like, okay, here we go, another song. Can we get back to pushing the story forward? But they are pushing the story forward through the song, through the lyrics, through the settings. It makes everything flow. So you're always excited to get to another song, where I've watched a lot of movies where when it's song time, I'm like, this is the part where I'll tune out. But in this movie, that's when I really tuned in and I really listened to the lyrics and I really watched the dancing and everything that was happening in the set, because it was telling the story and enhancing it. And the song in the trailer that we heard, Defying Gravity, that was definitely my favorite song and my favorite moment in the whole movie. But there was another scene where there's the love interest Fiero, him and all the other school kids at Shiz University. They're dancing in like a rotating library, and they're singing a song "Dancing Through Life," and like he's leading it, and that was such a fun moment. I've seen that the rotating library they were in it's actually like a practical set, and just the way it rotates and the way the dancing is like vertical and going upside down, and the whole time they're singing this song, but it's explaining the character of Fiero and his like outlook on life. So it's not just a song they dance for fun. I mean, it is, but it's telling the story, and I think that's why it works so well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we've got to give kudos to John Chu now, the director. The interesting thing about John Chu is, look, taking nothing away from some of the movies he's done in the past. Obviously, one of his biggest was Crazy Rich Asians, which we got back in 2018. Did a Justin Bieber movie in the early 2010s. Not a massive breakout movie in that. This will be his biggest to date by far. But just with what we're seeing from what he can do with this movie, this is a guy to be reckoned with, I think, in years to come, if this is anything that we're going to see from him in the future. Yeah,
look, honestly, that's a name that I'm not familiar with. Like, I haven't seen Crazy Rich Asians, and I couldn't really tell you anything else he's done. Like, I haven't really researched him, but my ears will prick up now when I hear his name, because, it was just so well made. And if that's what he's capable of, as maybe like a starting point to an even bigger career, then I'm here for the ride.
Jeff Goldblum is one that I've loved since back in the Jurassic Park days. He never disappoints, and he plays the Wizard of Oz, the wonderful Wizard of Oz in this movie. How do you see his role?
He's there more towards the back half of the movie, and he's Jeff Goldblum. You can sort of picture his like dry, kind of cheeky tone, and no matter what he's wearing, you know that face. I thought he did really well. I don't want to give too much away about, his character's motives in the story or anything like that. But I was surprised. Like I expected his character to, I don't know, have different plans. So, I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't say any more. But what his role is, he nails as always.
Yeah, he's the consummate professional, and so is Michelle Yeoh as well. Very multi-talented. Now, she's been in a variety of movies. How did she stack up as Madame Morrible in this movie?
She was great. She comes in fairly early on, and she's in most of the movie, and she just has her character has like a real kind of warmth and genuine sort of vibe that you connect with her really quickly. Just the way she takes care of Alphaba, you're like, here's someone in the movie that's going to treat her well, and that's on her team. So you really warm up to her quickly, and then as the movie progresses and things kind of flip on their head a little bit, you're like, oh, okay. I wonder what she's going to do next. Like, what's she capable of, from here? So she kept me guessing, but I thought she was great. She was one of the highlights for sure.
And another surprise for me, which I didn't see coming, but I'm so glad she's there, Keala Settle. I am a massive Greatest Showman fan. I love that movie. And I went to watch that movie because of Keala Settle. Now, she's in this movie. She's Miss Coddle, who is the head master at Shiz University. How did you find Keala's role? How did she go in this compared to, say, The Greatest Showman?
She was a cool character. Again, she's not really on side Team Alphaba. So for me, who Alphaba's probably my favorite, I'm like, oh, why is this character messing with her? Rubbing me the wrong way. But that's her role, and the actress did an awesome job. So Miss Coddle, she wasn't a character that was through the entire story. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens in part 2. She might feature even more. But yeah, what she's in there to do, she does really well. She's very, very believable.
You mentioned part 2. Now that is scheduled for release next year. So we've got to wait till November 21, 2025 until we get part 2. Are you hanging out to go and see it now?
I am. As soon as it ended, I was like, I just want more now. But that's the funny thing. Like, movie's 2 hours and 40 minutes. Like, it's long, but as soon as it's over, you're like, why does it have to stop? But also saying that, it doesn't feel like that cliffhanger where you leave the movie unsatisfied. Like, it's half a story, but it just feels so full that, yeah, I don't know. I've seen movies before where it's like, to be continued, and you're like, oh, I felt like, I didn't get everything I wanted from this yet. But just this part one, it goes out on such a high note. Like, it's just so exhilarating, this ending, that even though there's more to come, I didn't feel sad that, I hadn't gotten everything I wanted from it. It was awesome. It's just exciting to go, that was incredible, and there's more.
Yeah.
So it's the sort of movie where I won't feel like, oh, I guess I have to watch part one again before I see part two. I'm like, I can't wait to watch part one again. It was awesome. So, yeah, I don't mind that this movie's split into two. And with how much they told in this movie, like, none of it lagged. There was no, like, slow, boring parts. Everything felt like it needed to be said. So if they're going to have even more of that, I can't wait.
Well, you're just talking about how good the movie is. Let's look at box office figures because they are now out. Wicked has grossed $164 million worldwide in its opening weekend. The budget for the movie was only $150 million. So the movie's already surpassed its cost. How good is that?
Yeah, it's going to be huge. I mean, the people out there that know about it already, that are familiar with the play, like, they're going to love it anyway. But I guess there's going to be a lot of people like me out there that aren't really tuned into what it is, go and see it because, they're hearing good things and just go, oh, wow, that was amazing. And then that word of mouth will spread, and I think it'll just get bigger and bigger. I can't really think of the last movie I went and saw that gave me that excited vibe in like a magical family sort of way. Like I said to you before, that vibe when, you saw the first Harry Potter movie and, like, you felt like you were in this world and these characters felt like they really lived there, and, like, you were there, part of it with them. Just that feeling that so many movies try but don't capture, this just nailed. And I think when a lot of people realize that, they don't really know before they see it, I think that's going to catch on really quickly, and I think it's going to go to big heights.
Well, we'll get to your chalk tops in just a tick to find out your score for the movie. Before we do, though, Grant Lee had to get a question in. He's left a question here for me to ask you. Isn't that right, Mr. Lee? You, I guess you had to get one in, didn't you? Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Now, if you, this is his question. So good. If you could be one character from Wicked, which one would it be, and why would you pick that character?
I would say it's probably just cliche, but I would probably say Elphaba because, like, as much as she goes through in her life and how much people beat her down and treat her like trash because she's different, just the resilience that she builds and, the abilities that she has inside her that have grown from those experiences to make her, just blossom into such a powerful being. I think I'm envious of that because we all go through hard times and, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but she just takes it to a whole nother level. And I think it'd be pretty awesome to feel like that.
Great answer, Dunky. You happy with that, Mr. Lee? Yeah, sounds like he is. Okay, that's good.
Makes me laugh every time I hear it.
It was so deep too, and he's laughing.
Too good.
God, get real, Mr.
You
Lee.
need to send me that for my ringtone.
Yeah. Oh no, you don't want that as your ringtone. Trust me. Yeah. You won't sleep at night. Okay, let's give you 5 chalk tops. Obviously, 1 chalk top being not so great, 5 chalk tops being out of this world. For Wicked, what is your chalk top score?
Look, it's probably pretty obvious. And in this case, I'm not like being generous and bumping it up from a lower score. It is a 5 without a doubt. Yeah, I loved it.
I love it when a movie gets a 5 because I know, and I know you too, Dunk. I know that you're not going to give a 5 unless you really enjoyed that movie. So
Yeah.
that in itself has got me going, oh, this is the movie to see.
Yeah, and I know there's danger in hyping something up. People can hear an amazing review and then sit and go, "Oh, they said it would be amazing," and I didn't think it was. I don't think it's the case with this one. Like, I think if you don't enjoy it, you'd probably have to be dead inside or something. It's just like. I don't know. Or you would have to be like actively convincing yourself beforehand that you weren't going to like it. There are a lot of people that do that. I think push that aside. Like, yeah, you might not be a musical movie sort of person. Neither am I. But I just went in and thought, I'm just going to give it a crack, and I'm not going to have any sort of preconceived ideas of how it's going to make me feel. I was just a blank slate, and I loved it. So I think if you go in with that mindset, you can't go wrong. You'll enjoy it.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, Dunk. Well, going from one sing-along to another, next week, our Talkin' Flickster will be reviewing Moana 2. Of course, geez, weren't there some great songs in Moana 1, especially if you're a parent, you probably know them all by now. Okay, so do you have a question for next week's Talkin' Flickster for Moana 2?
Yeah, funnily enough, now that you mentioned that was the question I was thinking of. I was going to say, were the songs in the second one on par with the songs from the first one? I've got to be honest, I haven't even seen the first one, but that song, You're Welcome, I mean, it's tattooed on everybody's brain. And I guess my question is, does the sequel, compare? Is it on that same level?
Well done, Dunk. That is a fantastic question, and I hope so, because I'm looking forward to checking out. I'm looking forward to another 2-hour sing-along, which would be good. And you're right, those songs are so damn catchy, and after the movie, you can't get them out of your head. So, yeah, there's going to be lots.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want it to make an impact on you.
Lots of parents who I'm sure going to be going, oh, no, slap in the head. Dunk.
Good luck.
Yeah. Thanks once again for coming on the show. Great to have you here. You did a fantastic job filling in for Mr. Lee. If you want to come back next week, you're more than welcome. What about we just put Mr. Lee in a box? Oh, look at that. He's happy again.
Yeah, he sounds stoked on that idea. So thanks, Grant. I'll take over from here.
I'll hook you up with his microphone. There you go. And, of course, if you want to be a Talkin' Flickster, the best way to do it, forum6.com.au or odn5.com.au. Fill out the form, and guess what? I still have Grant Lee's credit card. So I'll shout you to the candy bar as well. Make sure you go online and register. Dunk, have a wonderful week, and hopefully we'll catch you again soon.
Thanks, JT. Thanks again.
And we'll catch you at 12 on Friday for our regular Talkin' Flicks podcast, and hopefully this guy is back.
Want more Talking Flicks? Get your fix with every episode anywhere, anytime. Just search Talkin' Flicks on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, forum6.com.au or odn5.com.au. Until next time, we'll see you at the movies.